Before that, I welcome you on the fourth day of FDP on IPR. Today we have two speakers, Gopal sir and Raju sir. Raju sir will join us uh, offline mode, but the first session will be conducted in the online mode.
नाही नाही जॉईन झाले ओके सर हो सर
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me? Good morning, sir.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Is it audible? Audible, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Is it audible? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Now, we welcome you all on our FDP on IPR. I request Professor Sonali Bharat Madam to introduce you. For this session, we will talk about I would like to introduce Dr. Kamal Prithvi sir is currently working as associate professor in the Department of Computer Science, placed deemed to be University of India. He has completed his BTech honors degree from UBT University and then completed MTech PGTM from IIT Ghaziabad and PhD in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. He has completed postdoc from National Taiwan University of Taiwan, which was funded by MHN. He comes in 2% of top scientists awarded by Stanford University, California, India. He has published 20 plus patents, 50 plus magazine issues, and 120 plus research papers in various reputed journals, international conferences. His areas of interest are modern physics, data analytics, cybersecurity, machine learning, healthcare, embedded system, and cloud. He has published more than 45 plus author and edited books under CIC, IGI Global Oxford Press, and he is having each experience in corporate and teaching. He worked with HCL, NEC-HCL, Hindustan Mines, Dehradun Institute of Technology, and Delhi Institute of Advanced Studies, with more than 15. He also worked in NEC-HCL in Japan on Project Hydrostor, which was funded by joint collaboration with NEC-HCL. Dr. Supreti worked on government project named Integrated Power Development was launched by Ministry of Power, Government of India. This objective of strengthening of transmission and distribution network in the Earth. Currently has completed work with joint collaboration with GPI and AIF under funded project of MCMS on cardiovascular diseases prediction using machine learning techniques, which was funded, which has fund of 80 lakhs. He got 5 lakh funds from BST Sir for conducting international ICS CPS 2020. Recently, he got 10 lakh fund from AICTE for inter-institutional biomedical communication and artificial program for 2024. He has attended as a session chairperson in national, international conference. He worked as keynote speaker on various platforms such as skill-based training, corporate training, and everything. He awarded as a best teacher, best researcher, extra academic performer, and gold medalist in everything. So now I request Dr. Kamal Reddy sir start session. Thank you.
First of all, good mornings to all of you. Ma'am, kindly confirm my voice is audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Ma'am, can you provide me a sharing mode here? Okay, okay. Is it perfect? First of all, good mornings to all of you. It's really very immense pleasure for me for delivering for a session, especially for IPR in the copyright and trademarks. And I'm just giving a special thanks to that particular university. They have just called me to invite it to me as a short period or short notice of time, I can say, for delivering for a one particular of session. Special thanks to all of you. But unfortunately, I was not be able to come there actually for offline. But it is a good that I'm just interacting with all of you as on online platform as well. And special thanks to Dr. Shivaji and thanks to the ma'am for giving my warm introduction at the front of that particular audience. Okay. So before starting that particular session, I just want to be brief something actually what is my planning for a today's session because I just got information that is my session from 9:30 to 12. Okay. So what I just planned is for 10 to 15 minutes, I will just give a recap about that, what is how we can handling for the patents actually. And after 30 minutes, I will just give you how we can go for a trademarks and copyrights as well. And after we can say for the last 1 hour, I'm just expecting I'll just give you how we can do the searching of a database, how we can just finding out the patents. Because the thing is, if you can see from the last 4 years and 5 years, I can say after the COVID, there is a very drastically involvement, especially for our peoples who are just working, the researchers who are working in our country. And they're working a lot, especially for filing or granting for our patents, actually. Okay. So the thing is, I will just help it out how we can just do the filing of the patent, how we can align it for the granting of a patent. I'll just show a complete demonstration, especially at the practically. And second thing, I will just help it out because filing a patent is not a big deal, actually. Okay. The main thing is how we can just finding the ideas actually. Because if you can see here, because many times what we can see is 90% of the people, what they are just doing, they are having an idea, you're just approaching for it, that particular, the patent agent. And the patent agent is helping it out, is used for filing or granting for your patent. But I just want to say, if you will be able to do a complete process for filing or granting for a copyright and trademark, I think so it will be a more beneficial for you. It is not only for you, it is a beneficial for your organization and your corporate world. Okay, so I will help it out how we can searching for a data because there is a lot of data which is existing. But the problem is it is really very difficult for the academician, especially for the researcher, and especially for the peoples who are just working in this particular domain. Okay, so I just help it out how which type of the patent has to be filed, how we can just try to filtering it out, and the And the problem is, suppose you are just having a very good idea, but the problem is how we can file it. Which type of the keyword I just try to incorporate in our we can say the title. Which type of I can say the abstract that I need to be taken. So these are the difficulties which are specially faced at the time of an academician, at the researcher, at the students. So if you are having a database, I think so you will be able to easily identify. I just say there are a lot of databases which are existing, especially for a paid version. But what I can say, I'm just coming a lot of databases, lot of data sets actually, different type of search engines. I will just provide you along with the link and performing a proper implications, how we can just try to help it out. So we can go for the session here. I think my slide is changing now. Is it visible? Ma'am, my slide is visible to all of you. It is changing or not?
Yes, yes, sir.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So before starting that particular session, I'm just giving a little bit illustration because if you can see, we are just focusing for intellectual property. Okay. So the question again every time is raising, what is the meaning of intellectual? Okay. And another thing is how it is more beneficial for us. Because if you can say in a human era, actually, if you are working in any platform, our last approach, our last destination is only for motivation factor. Okay. And for the motivation factor, it is always be existing only for the monetary terms. I think many of them will be agree with my words actually. Okay. So the question is, if we are just aligned for a monetary terms, how we can try to filing for the IPR? Okay. So intellectual means the things which are specially governed and controlled by the government of India, and they are ethically and authentically providing you a rights that you should having a proper rights to getting this particular part of a data, or either you are getting it something which is related for you, that we call as intellectual. And the property, it means the thing which is completely owned by an applicant, which is called as an intellectual property. I'm just giving a very small example. It is not for an intellectual example. I'm just saying if you are just purchasing for a one home, or if you are just purchasing some land actually. After that, what you are just doing, what you are just going for a registry, and after the registry, it is going for a mutation, and after the mutation, your land, it will be acquired by that particular name who is the owner for it. Same in this case for an intellectual property. If you are having some idea, if you are having some design, if you are having some manufacturing products, if you want to be developed something, so what you can do is you should having a proper systematic approaches. You should try to fill certain forms which is need to be required. So after filling the form, it will goes to the at the government level of an organization. And after its execution, that you will be able to identify that this is a process which is need to be executed. And after the clearance for an examination and everything, basically the compliances that you have done it, and after that getting a optimal solution, and later on after the 16 months or 18 months, it depends upon the duration of each and everything. Either you are filing a patent, either you are filing the copyright, either you are filing for trademark. It is having a certain duration which is defined by the government of India. So after that, you will get a certificate. So this is a proper systematic approach that we need to be trying to file for getting a optimal solution, or we can say getting a proper certificate for a one particular problem statement. So again, I can say because I'm already got a fund, especially more than 20 lakhs from the AICT, or we can say the ATAL. But my question is why the government is giving a more benefit, more aligning for, especially for its IPR. It is basically for international recognition, because I'm just coming with the certain benefits. But what is the benefit for an IPR actually? International recognition. Yes. I'm just giving a best example. If you can see, if you can done for an good patents actually, because I'm not saying not patents, actually all patents are good. I can say in every country across the globe, it is having a rights to developing its own patent rights, that we call as in India, we call as an Indian patent rights. In the Europe, we call as a European. If we call as a WIPO, it is called as Japan, France. Every country hits on its PR, intellectual property rights. Okay. But why we are going for an international recognition is because if you can see in across the globe, I can say there are 7 countries, those on that particular countries, if you can publish a patent, definitely that publishing a patent that will directly come in a Scopus indexing. I can say US, China, France, UK, okay, and European Union and WIPO. These are the certain patents. I can say all the countries we can be able to file a patent. It is not a big deal. But the question is, I'm saying international recognition, because if you can filing a patent and you are just granting a grant, so definitely the Scopus is directly giving a credentials that it is having an indexing for it. And in fact, I can say the good thing is for Indian IPR sections, I can say it is already clear a second level. If we can say it will be cleared for a third level, definitely that particular IPR, it is also be coming in the Scopus index. So we can say it is an international recognition. Yes, it will be a very fruitful and it is beneficial. Amplified the scholarship offers. Yes, the good thing is if a students who are just moving from in India and just moving for an abroad, it is having a certain, we can say the weightage of that particular marks, which is having for a scholarship, or they are just checking the credentials of that particular the scholar, or either they are just identifying what is the nobility which is existing by the student actually. Research funding, yes. In fact, if you can see the ATAL AICT, we can say SERB, it is giving a lot of funding for especially for the research, especially for the IPR, the copyrights. Or I can say the good thing, if you can see in the IPR section, Pragati. It is a one scheme which is launched by the government of India. They have just given it if a students who are just a student level and they are having a very good idea, they should try to file, upload your ideas actually. And the government is ready for giving a fund approx minimum 25,000 to 1 lakh rupees, which is a sponsorship which is given for each student for their novel ideas. So either you can find for a patent, copyright, and trademark as well. Next is industrial job offering. Yes, because what has happened, we are having a because government is giving a more inculcation, especially for offering for a jobs. Okay, like different nobility. I can say in the IPR section, because the government, because of what happened, the government is because whatever the patent which is filing it and every any publications which are coming it out in the monthly and the weekly, all the details which are giving it now. So what happened? There are some startup companies or the big institutions. They are just always be reading for this type of the ideas which is coming in for that publication office, and they are always knocking the door of that particular publications. If the idea is good, they are already taking it out, and thus then after they just try to keep in touch with that particular inventor. Yet you should be ready for selling that particular idea or not. Next is royalty income. Yes, it is very good. I can say because I can say because still I've just filed more than 100 plus patents. It is we can say it is a last not updated content which is existing. But I can say out of my 100 plus patents, I can say approximately four patents are my commercialized. And the good thing is after the commercialization, the good thing is you are getting a royalty. And the second thing is you are getting a good handsome amount of money. And third thing is in this case, whatever the product development will be done by the MNC or the company, and they will help it out or they will indulge to you for at the time of, we can say, technology exchange programs. Okay, I'm just giving a very good example for my personal, because in 2023 I filed a one patent actually, cardiovascular disease prediction using machine learning technique. It was filed with the GB Pant and AIMS Hospital in Delhi with a joint collaborated with Dr. Pradeep Kumar Dabla, and we can say the Sanjeev Arora. He's a director of an AIMS actually. While at the time of filing, the good thing is it is completely we can say funded by the AIMS. But later on, after the filing, we got a grant within 18 months, and after the grant, we are just going for a commercializing of it. And then later on, the Rainbexy has had taken our ideas actually, and later on, because in the 2024, they are just ready it for doing for an exchange program, technology exchange program, and we have done a completely MOU we have done on it. And on this particular MOU, we have done it for two things. First is for selling foreign technology, and second thing is whatever the product will be manufacturing in the by that particular embassy, they will giving a certain percent basis to that particular inventors. So this is called as a royal income, which is coming it out for your future perspectives. Entrepreneurs, yes, if you can see in the government website for an IPR, the government is giving for a student, or we can say BSc, MSc, a graduate students, they are giving a fund up to 5 lakhs for our startups. So I can say we should try to encourage for our students and our scholars that should try to work on it. And definitely, if their idea is good, definitely they should give a fund. Startup recognition, yes, they are giving a lot of startups. If I can say in our CRIS, actually, we have already generated a one idea, or we can say we have already developed one startup cell for our, especially for our scholars actually. And in fact, there is a good fund that we got it in the last 2 years, which is approximately 32 lakhs. And the students are working in these particular novel ideas. Yes, designers and the market changes. Yes, because there's a lot of market which is changed to be very drastically, I can say. Because why we can say that market changer? Because the novel ideas which is coming in the market, we should try to enhance it. We should try to incorporate it in our real scenario. I'm just coming it out for academician. They are the multiple things. It is the same which is existing. Second is I'm just coming the main point actually because we are the academician and every time we are just facing a lot of queries actually at the time of NBA and NAC. So I'm just coming NRF and we can say AICT because it displays the IPR displays a very crucial role at the time of the representations. Now I'm just coming it out the contributions as per the state wise, if you can see here. Because the maximum, it is, I can say the maximum contribution it is done by the Maharashtra. That is a statistical figure which is existing from 2023. The Maharashtra every year it is they're just filing it from this one, this one, this one, this one. Though every state is doing a contribution for it. Okay. Now the top applicants which are existing for filing for an academic institution and universities, I can say, and that is IITs. Collaboratively, they are just working on it, and the Chandigarh and so on. And the multiple universities, they plays a very crucial role for it. Okay. And now I'm just coming it out why we are just focusing for a patent or we can say copyright and trademarks. If you can see here, many times our question which is coming in our mind, why should become. If I'm just thinking that that person is showing have an idea, is it okay? If it is no, it will be cancelled. Please understand idea coming for an idea doesn't depend upon the age factor, it does not depend upon the person who is staying somewhere. Ideas come, it will be an innovative, but the thing is while the idea which is coming it out we should try to work on feasibility. I can say in the 2024 in India especially approximately I can say 50,000 patents were filed, and approximately 50,000 90% of the patents was stopped only at the time of publication. 90% of the patents are stopped only by its publication because 90% of the people they have not moved your application at the time of examination, at the time of compliances on the on they are not moved after the compliances they are not moved for going for a grant. Only the 1% of the patent are only just going for a grant. Please understand. Please understand. If you want to be upgrade your nation, if you want to upgrade your institutional, important is you should go for a grant. If you are granting a patents, then it will be getting a nobility for it. And if you are publishing the things, it is not a full file patent. Please understand. It will be a partial. I'm just coming it out the three conditions for filing for the patenting. It is for the useful purpose. No. Non-obvious. No. And the good thing is that is we are always focusing for novelty. I just want to say because we are the academician because we are just writing a research papers and we are working on it. Because many times what has happened, and a lot of queries which is coming it out in my mail or I'm just while just visiting for delivering a session. The academicians, they are always just asking to me, sir, first we should write a patent paper to publish it or either we should first go for patenting. I just want to say you are having a full freedom. Filing a patent later on after publication or filing a patent before the publication, it will not create any impact on your research work. Please understand. Both the things are really correct. You can do anything what you want. Okay. But patent office, it is having a no objection for it. Okay. You can filing a patent or later on, but it's my opinion. I can suggest you if you are working in any research, first you should publish your papers because publication of a paper, it will taking so lots of time as compared to patenting. I can say, okay, it's okay. But before publication, it will your outcome will be come at the front. And after that, you should go for a patenting. It is my request. But if you, because again, it is completely depend upon the four things, which type of patenting. Either you can go for patent, trademark, and copyrights. I can say if you are publishing a paper, initially you should publish a paper. Later on, you should go for a design patent. And after the design patent, you should go for copyright. And after the copyright, you should go for trademark. And after the trademark, you should go for utility patent. Please understand. Because the peoples are many of the peoples who are confused that what is sir, design patent and utility patent are both the same. No, both are the different thing. In the design patent, we are just focusing only for a design, figures only. But in utility patent, we are focusing only on three things: technique, tool, and technology. We are focusing on nobility and objective. While we are going in the copyright forms and trademarks, I will discuss you in the later slides actually. Okay, I'm just giving a proper briefing actually how we can go for a copyright because the peoples are very confused. Sir, we can go for copyright, we can go for a trademark, we can go for a patenting. I just give a justification about it, how we can go. But the common crux for all the patenting trademark, the thing is, it is only for novelty. If your idea is novel, if the idea is your feasible, if your idea is not existing as a hypothetical, prefer to go for novelty, prefer to go for filing. Now, uh, intellectual properties, I can say it is intangible assets. Yes, we can say it is for creative of mind, innovations, study. We can focusing on, and we are always focusing for the name, symbol, and images as per use as a common commerce. We can say, and basically the tools we are just using and we are just trying to process it. It is very important and convenient for us for its processing, which is very important. Because what has happened whenever the tools we are just defining, whenever the tools we are just processing it now, we need to be take care how the knowledge is to be incorporated. I'm just coming it out something which is very important because in your presentations, because later on I will just illustrate you more the GI. Okay, because once I'm just discussing about the trademark, definitely GI, geographical interfaces will definitely it will be come at the front of you. So I will discuss you all the things. So these are having a different offices which are existing and at a different level. Or in fact, the IPR is expanding a lot. If you can see here, so a lot of offices, or we can say a lot of nodule centers, which is opening it now. But I'm just coming it out. These are the certain, basically the main headquarters which are existing. So you can easily approach it that will be more prominent. I'm just coming at the good examples. I can say this is examples which is coming for the patenting. Sometimes we are just going for sound letters, and these are these logos which are coming. I will just tell you how we can do it. I'm just coming it out. The next example, we can say the example is for basically the trademarks actually. Okay, so so what happened? Because if you can see here, because at the time of that particular the trademarks, I can say, because many times we are just focusing at what are the copyrights and what are the trademarks actually. Okay, so simply I just want to say because what happened if you can see here, just just a minute. So so if you can see here that you will get an idea actually uh, how it is really called as a trademark actually. So in the trademark, we are always be focusing for some type of we can say the dialogues which is coming it out. I can say the India's famous trademarks which are existing. I can say if you can see here the something which is more prominently which is existing for the cartoons, like it's just like a trademarks which are existing. I will just tell you how it is trademark proper definition. It is a patents. Okay, I'm just giving a very good example. I'm just coming it out with the iPhone. Hello. Your slide is not visible. Just sir, your slides are not visible, Kamalji. Okay, okay, just wait, sir. Sir, is it visible now? No. Is it visible? My slides are visible, sir? Earlier it was visible, but now not visible. Sir, now is it visible? No, sir. Not visible. Just a minute. Now it's okay. Thank you. So if you can see here, I'm just coming it out just like if you can see here, we are just filing for a utility patent on the basis of tool and technology. So in this case, we are having a normal wristwatch that we are using on it. But when the wristwatch, we are how the wrist is moving, how it is can performing it now. how we can just try to execute it, the tool, technique, and technology which are existing on the focusing on utility tool. Now, if you can go for a design, because we have already discussed for the design, I think for the last presentations, I think so. So I'm just quickly recapping for it and going for a continuation. Design is nothing, it is always shape, focusing for a shape. I'm just giving for a needle actually. If you can see for a best example for a needle, I can say in the patent or in the patent across the globe, I can say it is approximately the 2 lakh 100, but the 21 lakhs 17,143 patents are design patents are filed for a single needle. You can think and imagine how the nobility which is existing for the multiple number of, and we can say the patent which are existing. So I can say it is just change the size, change the shape, change the vision. But if small change will be occur, it will be a nobility which is to be aligned. I'm just coming with another example. You can say it is iPhone. It is the best example because every time the question is raised why the iPhone is not reducing at that particular cost, or many a times we are just saying sir why the government is not reducing the excise duty for these type of products. If you can see here, I'm just coming with the statistical data actually. In 200 patents has to be filed by a single iPhone. You can think because Apple is focusing on the quality. Whatever the product the Apple is launching, it is filing all the patenting of your ideas. What are the tools? What are the chips? What are the design? What are the shapes which are existing? I'm just coming it out. Basically, the different labels. Basically, the utility we are just focusing for tool technique and technology. But in the design, we are just always focusing for what are the shape. And there is a third category that we call as the plant patent. The plant patent, it is always we focusing for the new plant of variety. New plant of variety means we are having a certain manufacturing firm that I'm just trying to establish it out. For establishing that particular, we can say the firm, I just planned it out, how we can align it, how we can develop it for that particular manufacturing firm. So I'm just creating it proper setup. For that particular setup, we are focusing for the plant patents. Because sometimes which is query which is raising, it is not a patentable or not, I can say. Discoveries are not patentable, ideas are not patentable, laws, physical, these are already been existing. Okay. How we can patent? We can say use and usefulness, which is existing, which is very important. The process, the machines, compositions, manufacturings, and new product, which is already, I think you have covered on it. I think so. So I'm just going in a fast track. So if you can see what can be patentable, we need to be take care. Do you know how we can just do the improvisation? If you can see the statistical data which is existing, in not only in India, in everywhere, I can say there is a 93.12 of a patent which are improvisation for an existing data. And every year, we are doing existing patents that we need to try to changing for it. Because 93%, I can say the patents who are just filing, it is only those who are existing, and there is going some moderation which are existing and try to develop it. You can see here the someone may make that your inventions become better. I can say it is just giving an example for a music, I can say. So at the time of the music, or I can say at the time of invention, or we can say evolution of the music players, we are always focusing just phonographies. We can say there is an invention, electric report players, LP reports and transactions. And if you can see here in every year, there is not a year, generation wise, there is upgradation has to be aligned it now for the product as per generation to generation. I'm just coming it out a very small example. If you can see here the paper clips, which is you are seeing that these things which are using in our day-to-day life actually. But if you can see here, the clip was developed in the 1900th century by the man from the Norway. Okay, it is a very small thing, but you can think that every person, every user is using in our day-to-day. Second thing, the zipper, the chance zipper, we are using it. Everywhere we are using it. And you can see here the next level of invention which is going. I'm just coming because if you can see here, it is again a US patent has to be filed for your stapler, your pen, and this one. So why I'm just coming here, because whatever the companies who are developing, what the things which are occurring at now, it is always focusing on which type of the product which is existing in the market. I'm just coming with a design actually, because what has happened while we are developing for any product, we are always focusing which type of the product which is need to be developed. Now, you can see here, it is just creating a raw, and that we just trying to implicating it at the manufacturing level. Just by we get carried for a projects actually. Because the question is again raises, if I'm just working in any project and research, why should try to just buy, and what are the outcomes which is need to be incorporated? So first thing which is we should try to identify the problems which are existing. We should try to solve it, and then we can try to patenting for your problem statement. Okay. So before thing which is going on, I'm just giving how we can filing for a patent, which is important. It is go for drafting a publication, examination. Okay. So these are the simple two process we are executing. Now I'm just coming out the copyrights, which is I can say, because what has happened, the peoples who are just thinking ki, if we are just working on any particular research paper, okay, if I am just working on any particular book, we should prefer to go for a copyright or not. I just want to be suggest you, while publishing your books, prefer to go for a copyrights, because the reason is that because the 90% of the authors, they are not preferring to go for a copyrights. They are just only going for publishing of books. Because what is happen after publishing for a copyrights, you will be get an idea actually. You will get an idea, and after idea is for your novelty. Because what happened, I'm just giving an example. Suppose you have just published a one book. After the publication, you are going for a copyrights. What will happen? The you will need to be submit three books at the patent office, filing a fees of 500 rupees along with the form 22 and 23. You can submit it all the things as an online. What will happen? They will check it out. Is there is a copyright, the content which are existing it will be a unique or novelty or not. If it is existing and nobility, then it is okay. The government will be say approved. If there is any issue, or either we can say there is some copyright issues, I can say, because what happened, the plagiarism issue, which is a big concern, especially in Asian and in Asian countries actually. So before going for a copyright, you should having its own we can say plagiarism file. You should be there. So while you are submitting, they will can easily check it out. If everything is okay, they should providing copyright. So copyright, it means you should having a full, I can say whatever the content you have written it, you should having its on, we can say asset. No one can take it from you. That we call as a copyright. Copyright, it always be aligned on the basis of certain content. I can say, you can see the authors which are existing, the author, whatever the author is writing, whatever the content you are writing, I can say the copyright, it is always going on the web pages. If you can see it in every website for the any institution, it is also be written at the bottom, C at the rate, copyright. That is for an institutional name. Okay. The property which are existing, the law, GDPR, laws, protection. So these are the examples for a copyright. In fact, I'm just giving it a link for a General Data Protection Regulatory Act. In this particular Protection Act, it is mentioned all the things which are required it, what are the terms and conditions for filing for a copyright, and how we can try to process it. Now, so the main question, it is always be aligned it, how we can do a copyright, which is very important, because we are facing a difficulty. If you can see, if you are just working on the literacy work, it means the book, the speech, advertising. You can see the lot of advertisements which are coming it out for the different labels, for the organization, the companies, or our institutional advertisement which are coming it out. It's coming in the literacy world actually. Games, the games. Another is the computer programs which are existing, which is very important, because if you can see here many times, whatever the code that we just trying to writing on it, we call it as a computer programs. And second thing is the musical compositions. Actually, musical composition means whatever you are writing, what is a rhythm, or what the way of composition you are creating it in the form of tab, MP3 files, musical scores. It is always be coming in the musical compositions. Dramatic activities, yes. If you can see here, because if you can see in the case of best example, I'm just giving for a movies actually. Whatever the movie, it has to be done by that particular producer or by director. They should first take up copyrights of that particular movie for that particular film and production, and that there is a name which is coming it out there at the bottom for X and Y, the company which is giving for a composition actually. So same in this case, the play, the movies, TV shows, newscast, which is important. Or I can say, if you can see here, many times, if you can see here, the different types of, we can say the cartoons, movies, or anything which is coming it out in your television, it is having a properly a copyright which is having for each and every. Next is choreographical works, because what has happened many times you can see the laughter channels which are coming it out, the jokes, it is having the facial expressions, because the people what they are just doing it, whatever the expressions they are created it for the multiple gestures, they are also creating their own copyrights. Graphics, yes, the photographs. If you can see the wild photographs, wildlife sanctuaries photographs, they are the some photographs which are very unique, especially for clicking that particular photographs. Or in fact, one the photograph they are clicking on, they are just carrying it out a certain copyright of it. The prints, maps, yes, because every geographical locations I will discuss you later on GI and geographical locations, because if you can see in every location it is having some thing which are really very unique on that particular location. Okay, that we call as geographical, because the reason is that because of its geographical location, the things are aligned as per the requirement. Okay, if I'm just giving a very brief example, because I'm just belongs to Uttarakhand. In Uttarakhand, if you can see here, there is different type of rocks which are existing. If you can go on more higher reason, it is a multiple rocks which are existing. So why this type of category of rock which is existing in this particular location? Because of geographical conditions, because of temperature, because of climatic conditions, the things are occurring. Same situation, if I'm just going in Maharashtra, it will be different. It will be a different type of rocks. It will be a different type of situation. That's why I'm saying it will completely based on GIS, Geographical Informatics System based knowledge. Next is we can go for additional activities like sometimes we are just creating it our own wrap up songs, because what the students are doing, students are creating their audio video works and songs. Okay, and they creating their own we can say sound recordings, and they can wrap up of it, and later on what they are just doing, they're just creating their own copyrights. Architectural work, the best example is while you are constructing your home or you are working in any society, because what has happened before working or to start that particular work, before the builder or we can some constructor, they just should take us some copyrights for that particular the architecture, that we should plan it for developing it, because all it is having a different societies that we call as a RERA, that they should try to approve it first and then they after they start working on it. That is the art of writing that we call as a copyright. That is all right is reserved. All right of reserved means whatever the rights, the person who has giving an objection for it, they all the thing which is coming it for his or her as his assets. Now the question is coming it out the steps of writing a copyrights, because what has happened many times we are writing a copyrights, and the problem is how we can write a copyright. I mean, first, know your audience. Which type of the audience that you are having on it. Second is organize your thoughts. What has happened? You know your audience, it is a good. But the question is how you can organize your thoughts, which is important. Organize your thought means how we can represent it in a structural way. Third is follow the style guide. Style guides. Style guides means whatever the style which is existing, how we can just try to process it. Next is pay close attention to the copyright and ethic issues. Again, I am saying because all are the ethical concern, because what has happened while you are just filing for a copyright, anything which is related for an IPR actually, it's a request to you. Please strictly following the pattern, the style, the way you are working on it. It should be very concise and representable form. Otherwise, the government patent office directly reject on that particular document. Refine your work means whatever the work that you are just doing for a copyright, whatever the idea that you are having on it, it should be very structured manner. It should be very aligned manner. And one thing which is the thing which is not being really existing in our society, it should be unique. It should be a changed manner, I can say. Next is know when to stop the writing, because you should know, because everything it is having a starting and ending point. You should know how we can close it, that particular concept. Last is grammar and the common errors need to be rechecked. Because what is happened, whatever the errors which are coming it out, the grammatical, the common error, we should try to recheck it. We should try to recap it. We should try to process it, which is important. Know your audience, I can say, because what has happened, because many times what has happened, because we are having audience, we are just targeted, but we should know what is your target audience. Because whatever the product you are just developing, please understand, you should think at the end of its future outcomes. Because while you are just filing for a patent, or you can go for an examination, and at the time of exam, because examination will be lined in all the IPR sections, either for copyright, either for trademark, or either for we can say your patents. Every IPR it is having a examination and after it's a hearing. But my question is, at the time of hearing, the judge, or we can say the person who will directly ask you, the auditor will directly ask you, what is the priority and what is the outcome of that particular novelty that you plan for it, doing for it. So you should know specifically which type of the target audience you are targeting. Now, for while you are organizing your thoughts, especially I'm just coming out the layout of the copyright. First, I'm just introducing you, and then later I'm just showing you the real-time demonstration for filing for your copyright. Okay. So at the time of the copyright, we should having a certain things. First, you should know for an abstract, which is very important, because at the time of an abstract representation, you should be take care. Abstract should be very concise. That should be handed more, not more than 150 words, which is very important. Later on, we can going for an introduction, because while you are representing for an introduction, you should having a very limited word. Actually, I will not say that how much the word, it is not a any one word limit which is existing, but whatever you are writing, but it is very concise actually, which it should be very limited number of words actually. Okay. Yes, it is okay if you are writing for many, because it is always be depending upon your work actually. Suppose you are writing any work, any literature work that is going on, which is having a 10,000 or 20,000 pages, then it is okay. But if it is not relevant, it is not prominent for you, so I can say you should don't go for the another one. Whatever you are just doing it now, you should try to take care for it. Background literature review, which is very important, because at the time of the background and the literature review, we should try to check it out. Whatever the stories, whatever the process that you are using it, you should having a proper clarity of that particular literature review. I can say whatever the things we are just doing it, it is just like a research paper, because everyone is working on a research paper, and these are the same criteria and credentials which are especially for existing for a copyright as well. Method and material, yes. In the short, we can say many times we are saying for a methodology, because whatever the material, whatever the methods, we are just trying to process it. Next is the data and the results, which is very important, because what has happened, there are a lot of data which are existing, but the question is at the time of the data and the results, how we can disclose that particular outcome, which is prominent for us. Next is discussion. Yes, because in discussion, we every time it is just asking what is your outcome. Next is conclusion. It is showing for a CRIPS what is the statistical outcome, what is the result which are getting it now. And last, we are acknowledgement. Acknowledge means, but if you just acknowledge something, the person who's helped it out, and references, it is always be focusing on other things which is related for the primary or secondary work. Now we are just going for standard outcome for a copyright, I can say, because while we are writing for an abstract, because I'm just showing it one example. While just going for an abstract, we are just always focusing for the problem, which is very important. We can providing for the introduction, which is very prominent, I can say, because introduction. Next is the background and the literature. We need to be try to work on it. In the background literature, it is very difficult part to write actually, but I can say whatever the papers you are just taking it now, what are the copyrights you just try to incorporate it, you should prefer to include in such a manner, whatever the data you are getting, it should be very properly representative manner, just like for writing for a research paper. Because in the LR, you are just doing for citing for that particular content. It is a link. Method, result will be very straightforward, but we are using a discussion, conclusion, we are focusing. Acknowledgement, especially for the, if you're getting some grants or you're just processing, then you should focusing for the acknowledgement. References, yes, you should pay attention for the guidelines, especially for the journal, the references. So this is, I can say this is a proper standard. I can say we are just following everyone, but sometimes every journal or every book, it is having a different copyrights. But I can say not a different copyright, but it is a way of different representation of the things. While rest of the things are same. Now, refine your work means we are just focusing same thing, which is called as a document while you are writing. Printouts, which is very important while you are just filing for a copyrights. Checklist, because of several copyright, several times it may be aligned. But suppose I'm just filing for an export, it exported is already filed for 1,000 times. But you should having a proper defense or proper compliance for it, that whatever you have filed it, please understand, it should having a very prominent, or we can say nobility, which is existing for your work. Then the government of India will be acknowledged for your work. Otherwise, it will be put up compliances and sent back to you that you should work on it. Flow of thoughts, yes. In text, references, punctuation, equation, figures and tables, whatever you are representing, you should write it properly cite it and process it. Style guide, it means math equations. I just want to say whenever you are writing something, you should having a proper math equation that you should prefer to use. Don't just doing a copy and paste. I'm just show one demonstration to you all of you. First, I'm showing us some screenshots in which how we can filing or how we can plan for a copyright. So it is a just like a copyright filing page. It is having on it. Okay, it is having different for e-filing for an applications. How we can file it, e-applications, steps of a copyrights, copyright filing, copyright stream. You can upload your documents, publishing the copies. Okay, I will show you the practical demonstration. Just wait. I think is it visible to all of you? Sir, is it visible? My
Yes, sir.
copyright form, this one. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I'm already having a login for a copyright office. It is an IPR section. Okay. So if you can see here, just please everyone should prefer to make your copyright form. Okay. So it is not a very big deal actually. You should also be apply for a copyright by yourself. First, you should go for the copyright for the government. Copyright.gov.in. You should click on it. It is a registration form will come. If you have already, if you can just register yourself. If you are a new user, you should do a registration. If it is not, you should just log in it. I'm just putting the caption CR770. If you can see here, I will just give you a proper illustration in which how we can do a copyright. Because you can just create your, everyone should create your profile actually. So in this case, first, it is giving a proper home page, which is existing, which is very prominent. Okay. So in this case, it is having a proper, because in the copyright form, it is having a proper information about the uh, details, ITR, contract, and in fact, it is having its own journal. Okay. Because whatever the journal it is publishing for each and every month, it is a very important. Because please understand, because the persons who are just filed that particular copyright and they doesn't know where it is to be published, please understand, whenever any IPR section you are filing, it must be published. Please understand, it must be published either after the grant or either it can publish before the grant. If you can see here for the design patent, it should be first publish it and then go for a grant. But if you can go for a utility patent, it is first publish it and then go for an examination. But in the case of copyrights, in the case of trademarks, it should be published, then it will be grant. So you can see here, you can find out the different months on which is existing on it, reset on it, and you will see here different copyrights. So reload it. Okay. It's showing some set here. It is having a copyright that is to be filed now. So it is having a proper information. It is not giving all the things, but it is having the diary number which is existing. If you can see the diary number which is existing in the copyright, if you can go for the design patent, it is a registration number. If you can go for the utility patent, it is called as a patent or we can say application. So you can see here, it has to be filed on categories. Fourth thing, which is very important while we are just granting, it is a diary number. Second is a date. Third is the title of the work, which type of the work you are performing. Fourth is category. I will just tell you while filling that particular form. And last is the applicant. Who is an applicant? Which organization or the name? Either you can just go for an organization name or either you can go for a username. It depends upon, it doesn't matter. Because in 2022 Act, before the 2022, it was divided into a two parts, small entity or large entity. Because we are the applicant, it is always coming in the small entity. and the organization, the institution, it is coming for a large entity. So in this case, the IPR is charging a three times amount. Suppose if I'm just filing for a 500 for a small entity for a copyright, so at that time it is asking for 3,000 or 4,000 for an organization. But in 2023 and 23 or 2023 in the month of June, it was declared for a one session that it is a notice has to be aligned by the IPR that whatever it has to be done, it will be aligned for the same amount for a small entity and large entity. Okay, so it will not create any cost issues for it. Both are having same cost. So we will just go login page, I think. Yeah. So if you can see here, you will get a proper information because I'm just going from one by one all the forms. Okay. So if you can see here, that is called as a e-filing for an application because in 2000, 16 onwards, before that the copyright form, it is always be aligned for a hard copy. We need to be submitted, we can go a speed post, and then they just trying to incline it. But later on the government have done up all the things, especially for the online, we can say. So if you can just click on it in the copyright form, you will get a proper registration process, which is very important. I'm just clicking on the next window. So okay, so if you can see here, it will not going in the next window, just going in the same platform. Then you can see here you're having a proper application form is there. I can say e-filing. Step one, to the application. First, you should name the name of the register, name of that particular person who is filing. Because if you can see here in the, because first application, it is, uh, I can say yes. First is of, you can say the form 14, which is out of 1957. It is just saying you should first fill the details, the name, which is existing, the detail, date of dispatch, and the communication of that particular person, address you need to be entered, and I will just accept it on the processing. This is the first step. Second is, if you can see, first, yeah, after the filing is, what you will do is, you is having a see your pending applications. Just, you can just click on it. You're having an information. Then later on, you should, this is the first step. In the second step, what you can do is, first you should, because the second step you'll be able to go only after the completion of first step, no issue at all. But I will tell you in the first step, we will just form up proper general information for it. After filling the general information, in the step two, you should fill up particular particulars, your organization, your institution, where you can apply. And the step three, you need to be upload a document. In which document that you need to be applied? Like in this particular document, you should having on its your form 14 that is having a particular design which is existing, the content which is existing, whatever you want, you should upload it. And the fourth, you should do a payment for a 500 rupees. After the payment, you will get a receipt and you should try to process it. Now, I'm just coming it out. After the uploading for that particular document, you should upload the discrepancies because my discrepancies are all resolved. It is not having on it. Upload discrepancies means what happened after the submission of a copyright. Because what is happen after the uploading for a copyright, within 2 to 3 days, you will get a diary number of your filing order. But hopefully, with the 6 to 8 hours, you will get it update in a server. But maximum, the server will take for a 2 days for uploading in your diary number. After the uploadation of a diary number, it will start for processing. For filing for processing for a maximum for a copyright, it will take minimum for a 1 month and maximum for a 3 months. Okay, so you can see if there is any discrepancy which is aligned it from the IPR office, they should directly incline on it. They should reply on it. Okay. Now after the uploading, it is having a pre-hearing documentation which is need to be required because what has happened at the time of a hearing, they should directly ask us why you are applying, what is the process, and you are having a proper documentation and all. Later on, it is having for a hearing documents because once you are just hearing for a document, we should try to do a correspondence. Okay. Now you can apply for re-upload it. If you are having a proper diary number, you should try to verify it. Okay. Now I'm just going for make a payment histories which are existing. Now you're just going for objection petitions, which is apply, because while you are applying for an objections, you should having on its proper details. You should try to check it out which objection which is existing, and later on it is having a status that you should try to search on it. What is the copyright status? Which type of a class of a category that you need to research it out later on. Because while at the time of checking the status, you should having on these type of details, either for view that particular one, waiting, document, amendment, security, resubmitting, hearing, submitting, because all the views it will be shown like in the front of you. Many times it is just showing for a checklist, because what happened at the time of its execution, at the time of processing, it's showing a checklist that all the document that you are uploaded or not. It is just specially indicating from your platform actually that you need to be processed. Okay. So at a time you are just entering received an application or not, because what is happened while the application is received, the government of India will need to be update that particular application, which is very important. Like you can see here, the waiting section which is going on. This is called as a diary number. The artist who is filing on it, it is a waiting from says 30. You can see here the artist, this is filing on it, this is having on it. So I can say different types of, I can say the applications which is need to be aligned to check it out, either what is the flow. I'm just showing the workflow of this particular, the copyright, because what is happen, we are having on it, sometimes we are a little bit panic, or we are having a certain pressure for our project or something that we need to be get a copyright registration number as well as a diary number as well. So you should see the filing of the application along with the fee, that is a DD. Issue for a diary number, 30 days mandatory waiting for an objections. Objection file or not? No, filed. If it is no non-objection, scrutinized by an examiner, because it will be done by the examiner end. And then later on, if it is filed, sending a letter to both the parties. You should send the reply from both the parties. Now, in these days, it is very good actually. While at the time of the filing, we should try to take care is either the filing, because in the 2 years or 4 years back, what has happened, you should do need to be sent only the reply on the basis of a hard copy. But now it is a full freedom by given by the patent office. You should, if you're not able to and you're not having a time, because now in these days, what the patent office is doing, they are asking both the things. You can upload your document as a scanned copy, or plus you should send a hard copy for it. Okay. So perform the hearing by the registrar. Registrar will check it out. Either this a particular application, it will we should try to give an acceptance or not, or either we can give us some objections for it. So at the time of scrutinizing it, it's just finding out a discrepancy. If a discrepancy letter is issued by the applicant, it is okay. Otherwise, send a reply, process it. It is registration approved by the deputy registrar. Okay. After the deputy registrar, it is approved. It is going for a registration process and abstract. It is another process. And if it is rejected, then it is going for application rejected, send a letter to the applicant. Okay. So after the rejection, because in this case, there is a one chance that is given by the, we can say for the applicant that you should file again for the anticipatory copy as well. If he or she is not filed, so definitely it will be rejected. So in this case, for performing, it is having a 15 to 20 days duration in between them. Okay. Next. E-filing process. This is completely a registration process we have done on it. Okay. Then because it is having a proper session, otherwise it will be a sign out for automatically if it is not be logged. Yeah. Okay. There is a workflow checklist, detail of application pending, it is done, and one discrepancy correspondence, which is no record in this layer. Checklist, yeah, checklist we have already done on it. You can also check the application of the status, received applications, wait for an applications, hearing, date, checklist flow. And sometimes we are having a frequent questions that we need to be asked. You can also be asked it at the time of an interaction. Okay. And the next thing, it is very important, because every time I'm just saying for each and every person that you should, because if a person who is just filing for the first time, the lot of questions which is coming in your mind, what is the copyright, what is the scope? So by default, the government of India has already uploaded all the, I can say, and the queries which is relevant as per your problem statement, you should try to apply it. Okay. And sometimes what has happened, there is some notice has to be aligned by the order by the government of India. Because initially they have just given up for a copyright, but later on, due to some issues, some problems, the government has publicly, or we can say, after the IPR, because IPR it is completely equivalent for the local, we can say, state, we say district courts as well. But later on, the High Court has done an intervention for it, and they have just issued a certain notice for doing some changes or intervention for it. So you can see here, the controller has given a certain innovation, this one, that you should pass for the justice for this and this confirmation, the compliance and has to pass this one, the office order. So it is having a proper application, it is having on it for the notice. So it is having a proper compliances for the civil code. This is then pen drive is put in the record, applicant was to post it. The reason is there. What is the advertisement author has to be issued. The proper copy has to be aligned, and what the changes has to be done by the High Court. Proper order that we call a justice order has to be pushed on it, and they have just given a proper changes. So if there is any changes they need to be required, it will be intervention by the High Court. Then it will be a change. Otherwise, it will not be any change for it for an IPR approach. So this is a documentation upload. Yeah, it is a one thing, and the government have already launched for the e-registrations, which is very important. Because you can also be applied for e-registrations for your documentation. Okay. And later on, the guidelines which are existing and certain acts for your knowledge, which is important. Okay. Now you can see here, it is a certain dashboard which is existing. You can check it out, the status actually. How much the patents or with the copyright which are registered, and what is the status of your copyright. You can see here in the January in 2024, it is a application which is came it out for the copyright. It is from 619, and the February it is coming from 3031. So you can just click on it, you will get a proper information for as per the state file or as per the information that you will get. Just wait. It's taking some time here. Site is too heavy or huge traffic in this particular websites. It takes some time actually. Okay, no issue. We can say it is came in the same in this case of registration processes, status of copyright applications. You can just try to incorporate. If you want to check it out, your application is to be rejected or it has to be filed. You can try to take care of it. It is a status. It is just showing it now. It takes time, I think so. Okay, so so we can be able to done for a petitions, because what has happened if any order it is to be aligned by the government IPR, and it is just you are not satisfied, you should file a separate petition, not a big issue. You can file it for 100 rupees for a stamp paper. You can align it signed by the attorney and you can submit it. And again, in the objection, there will be high hearing will be aligned it for the both the parties. They can do a discussion, and hopefully in the one or two hearings it has to be low, because in my case because maximum if it is worst case it will take for a 3-4 hearing, but in 90% of the cases has to be resolved in one or two, because it is already be strictly ordered by the above High Court that in the IPR section you are all the cases should having must you should be aligned for a one or two hearings. That's it. Okay, so this is a part of a copyright platform that we have applied, we have worked on it. Okay, and the next I'm just coming. Yeah, so if you can see here, the same thing which is coming it out, you can see here, we are just going for the e-filing. At the time of the e-filing on the copyrights, you can see here, we're just giving for e-filing applications, which is important. And for the e-filing applications, we are just giving the steps. You have already saw it. Initial information which are existing, and later on the statement of the particulars, very important. And after the particularly, we are just trying to uploading that particular information which is need to be required. So in this case, we are just uploading for digital signature, which is very important. And the file and what is the code, that is the nature of the work. You can drag and drop the classes category, which is existing, description of the work, which type of the work you are just doing, title, and the language we need to be recorded. Because the good thing is the IPR is coming with the 36 regional languages in India. And whatever that languages they are just trying to incorporate it for your ideas, especially they should try to commit it for tribal languages as well. And the good thing in the last year, the government of India has to be taken for a three regional tribal languages, especially for we can say Arunachal Pradesh, we can say Uttarakhand, along with the West Bengal. They have taken a multiple languages and they just trying to incorporate it, your ideas in the form of copyrights. This is the same form that it was not be able to move it. Name of the address, nationality, the name of the countries, publishers, the year you have done a publication, and the addresses of the owner of the copyright. Okay. Same is, but it is really very nominal cost. I can say the copyright filing that is a 500. No need for signature. Speed proposals and NOC need to be applied. Yes, yes. NOC need to be applied because the reason is why. Suppose you are filing it any copyright actually, so you should need to be required certain approval either from the one corresponding author or either you need to be filing it for any organization so that one head from your organization that you should give a consent that there is a no objection certificate. We are just providing it for filing for a copyright. What has happened because because while at the time, because I can say at the time of the copyright, the copyright or we can say the IPR session are becoming a more we can say more sticker or we can say more taking care for those things which are aligned for the security, privacy, and defense from at the country level. If these things which are coming it out, please try to avoid it for these things. So if it is having other thing and they are not doing any type of any such type of objections, they are simply giving a certain objections which are very prominent or you can easily resolve it as per your level. Okay, so I'm just coming here because many times after doing a lot of discussions, because already your sessions are going on for the last 2 or 3 days, I think so. So the main difference, what is the copyright and patent actually? The persons who are always be asking. The copyright is nothing. Copyright is just representing your ideas in the form of printing actually. If I'm saying any certain image, any content you are representing, that we call as a copyright. And the patent is representing your, while you are representing your copyright, it is a backend, your technique, tool, technology, your nobility that is representing your patent. Same this case, I'm just coming it out as a tradition knowledge for interesting by a school girl, actually 14 year discovering the magic of home because she has done it from the, if she has identified because if clicking for an ohm sound for a 30-second, there is increase for an oxygen level and decrease in the carbon dioxide and the lactic acid in blood. Okay, so this is her nobility for a copyright that she has identified actually. And there is a no genius production alpha, beta, and delta waves resulting the hormonals and neurotransmitters causing the dilution of the blood vessels. Yes. So it is a very interesting because things are aligning, but identifying the things on the basis of outcome, it's your asset, it's your outcome until and unless you are not filed that particular copyright or patent. Again, I'm just coming it out because sometimes what is happening it now, the peoples are just asking, sir, how many years I'm just having a protection act for having an asset for while filing this particular grant. I can say in the copyright, in the patent, it is having for 20 years for its, or you can say the 14 years for design, but now it has to be increased for a 25 years. Copyrights, it is going for artist expression, books, photos, and we can say the music, films. Yeah, it is going for a life of author for a plus of 70 years, which is very important. Very 70 years plus life plus 70 years. It means the next generation will also be take care getting an advantage for it. And the trademark, that's like identified the serve as the origin for a good services, like Starbucks or logo. I can say in the trademark case, because I'm just coming it out, the next slides actually for a trademarks. Trademarks is just like are representing the things in a symbolic form. I can say I'm just giving a best example. If any country is represent any country, or I can say any firm, any organizations, any MNCs, they are representing everything on the basis of logo. Just take an example of Apple logo. You can just take a logo for any we can say the company which are existing, which is very prominent. Okay. So you can see here the trademark which are as if Starbucks is continuously to with a mark actually. Coca-Cola formula is a formulation of its formulation. Links I will share with you. Okay. So I'm just coming it out with the So I'm just coming it out the trademarks, copyrights, and geographical indicators. Now, my next concept is for trademarks because if you can see here, the trademark is representing geographically, I can say, which is capable of distinguishing the goods and services of a one person to another. Yes, because what has happened, we are having a lot of trademarks are existing, but the way is how you can representing the things under form of different colors, different way of representation, color coding, a lot of things which are existing. I'm just taking a very simple water bottle. You can see here, it is just like a simple water bottle. But if you can see here, the main difference is only for its, this is a simple blue bottle and this is a very greenish bottle. It is a way of differentiating of certain bottle with respect to another. It is representing a symbol of Bisleri. Now you can see here, I'm just taking a multiple number of different types of water bottles are existing in front of you. So you can see here, different spelling, different logo, different packing, different representation. What is the size? Different filling of water. It is a different one. Now, I'm just coming with a simple single sign as a brand. It is a sign of a Nike. You can see it. You can see here. In the 1971, the Nike was having this particular brand. 1978, the Nike is coming it out for this one. 1985, the Nike has developed it for this particular brand. And after that, it is just coming from a solo, this one, and now it is becoming this. So you can see here, if you are having a one trademark which is existing and you want to be just change it as per your need and requirement, so you should try to vary it. I'm just coming it out the certain examples like trademarks for the parlay and the future consumable goods. So in fact, the government of, we can say Bombay High Court has already taken a decision because what has happened, and there are the certain products which are occurring it just like a very similar type of this particular product. Like you can see the Monaco is here, and there is another defendant implicant food is Krakow. Krakow. It is the same type of packing, same type of biscuit, same type of packing. Everything it has to be right, but the name is different. Same is hide and seek. It is a very popular. The another product has to be launched from Peak A Bow. It is a different. The thing is different pack. If you can see, it is a similar type of this one. Shake is similar one, but taken a different. Crack and Zeal, Cracker King. So you can see here. So in this case, if these type of duplicate products which are existing, the government of we can say the person who were just developed or the owner of that particular asset, and he or she can also be tried to file that particular patent for its objection. Okay, so in this case, these are the certain decisions which is taken by the Bombay High Court decisions, and definitely they are penalized very heavily, or they have strictly given a decision to close your firm. So this is a way that the things are be controlled and managed by the IPRs. This is an example. Jack and Jill, which is existing and later on it has to be changed. I'm just coming with another example that we call as a Dettol. Dettol is just like a product which is existing, but is a defendant offing mark is, it is Dettol. You can see here. This is a plus and this is making this one. This is a one, handshaking this one. Now, I'm just coming, there is a one decision which is taken by the Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court, especially for penalizing for those activities which has to be incorporated by the different type of persons, like you can see here, highly imposed for the trademark for the Dettol. Delhi High Court has ordered from this one for the imposing a cost of the world of defendant of Mohit Petrochemicals Private Limited and restrained them from using the mark as Dettol. So this is the way that you can also be penalized, or we can say the IPR section is also be taking care of it, or in fact the actual owner for existing which one they can should try to take care for it. Okay. So later on, the defender advocate appears to be the advance notice and state that you should try to defender has arranged to stop manufacturing and selling the hand sanitizer using the amount of Dettol. You can see here. Delhi High Court has already given a notice that it will penalize and later it to stop to manufacturing and selling that particular the hand sanitizer under the Dettol and also withdraw their trademark applications and also return to their agent and dealers to withdraw the product bearing to infringing marks from the product. So it is strictly ordered by the I can say by the Delhi High Court that you should try to stop forming this particular product and stop selling this particular product and you should mandatory that you should withdraw this particular product from the market. Now we can say raritic binger instead. If you can see here, it is just like an again offense. The later on they are just providing the influencing detail and the code has ordered to recall their existing stuff. But in fact, the code is already ordered that you should remove your product. Whatever the product which is existing in the market, you should try to remove it. It has to be penalized again by the defender code as well. Now I'm just coming with another example and that we call as a 100 ml flip top and 60 ml flip tops. You can see here what is the difference between both of them. Okay, and if you can see here, there is a difference and there is a 100 ml flip tops and 60 ml flip tops. There is a huge difference actually. But the packing, the colorizer, all the same things. Like case of Puma, I'm just coming with another example. If you can see here, the Puma is existing and Poodle. You can see here. There is again, it will be again removed from the market and the international court has taken I think the US court has taken a decision and the decision was passed towards the Indian court that the duplicacy which is going on in India, you should try to overcome these things. I'm just coming. Another issue which is came actually the Pizza Hut and Pizza Ghar. You can see here the fast food. They're claiming that new variant should be notified with the linguistic and pictorial protection of the trademarks Pizza Hut. The plaintiff sought for injections and later on the Ghar in Hindi should be abstract for the word we call it hut. Please in case but the petitioner has to be filed that particular approach that Ghar is a Hindi word which is used in the form of a hut actually. So later on, it is be equivalent to the same. We call it the HUD device. And later on, it is a defender has changed that particular restaurant name and has not depicted this. Same in this case of a Tata. You can see here, there is a one trip, makemytrip.com and Tata leadership and your okay tatabybye.com. You can see. So later on, the government will taking a strict action against this one and overcome this. And another, I'm just taking at the impact of well-known trademarks was filed. If you can see here, Honda, a good for TM is registered for land vehicles. Application file, Honda. Good sold for registration is of pressure cooker and refused. You can see here application filed for the registration for Honda and good sold for registration claim. They have filed for pressure cooker and they have rejected. 7 o'clock, we can say shaving blade and article it is having, it is applied for its toothbrush. It is refused. Bata, the shoes, etc. Bata brand, it is also used for registration for swing machines. Refused. So it's the electrical equipment, soap and detergent refused. So you can see here, the government is strictly focusing. If a person who is working on a one trend, why it is moving for the other trend. So they're just strictly targeting on it. They're just seeking for the compliances, bearing for it. If it is the things are okay, it is okay. Otherwise, they are refusing it. I'm coming it out. Now, you can see here, there is something which is going in a market and the other two companies are having the same industries and offer for the same type of. But the Paytm, if you can see here, the PayPal and the Paytm, okay, both companies are working same type of concepts, but both are having a different approach for a different countries. So in this case, the government will not be able to take any action because the Paytm is aligned only for the country in India and the PayPal is existing for across the abroad because So it is having a different approaches. So you can't be able to, we can say, remove it out as per their name or basis. You can see here in 2000, the PayPal is adopted the following style of featuring for the PayPal, representing PayPal. In 2007, it is launched for PayPal. It is different one. In 2009, it is representing for this one. In 2014, the PayPal is representing in this manner for updation. So I can say in every stage, it is going for an upgradation for that particular product, which is very okay. Now you're just going for a Starbucks because in the Starbucks, you are just focusing for a certain information like this one, Starbucks coffee, which is existing. And the later on, it has to be changed something like this one, different one. Sardar Bucks coffee and Sardarji Bakshi coffees. So this is called as a different one. So if Starbucks it is having a no objection, so they are just not focusing of anything like Sardar Bucks Coffee and Corporation. It does not create any impact for a Starbucks. Because please understand, because while the company is becoming a brand, and actually the small brands are just trying to copying it out, does not impact for it. Okay, but now the things are especially be inclined in because sometimes what is happened there are any some product which are existing for medical equipments or medical medicines are existing like syrup or we can say the medicines which are just taking it, it will create a very bad impact especially. So in these cases, the government are very strict, especially for any product which is related for a healthcare. This one, Sadar Bucks, Sadarji Bakshish. Like we can say, like we can say, there's a very bad good example. We can say, in case BMW has already filed an objection or petition again for that particular firm. This is called as an BMW is a US brand, or actually this is called as an Indian brand. Actually, it is developed one defender mark that we call as a DMW. Okay, so the later on they are just filed an objection that whatever we are having, it is taken on it. It is okay. It is just objected and it will called as a remove it from the market is aligned by the government. Yeah. So in this case, I'm just coming it out the results actually. We can say the H&M, this is called as the company who is filed for a High Court petitioner and impact cases. An order was ordered at the time of 13th January, 31st January 2018. HM, Mega Marts, Mega Brands and HM this one. So you can see here again the same deflections. Different logos which are existing. You can see here in the HM, in the car, we call as adoption of 1972. We call as a United Kingdom, which is existing from 01. August 01, 1985. The India is for 31, 2008. HM is again for we can say word mark allocated for adoptions here. If you can see here, it is having a certain logo for it. It is having a logo, again, this type of logo. Logo for store and logo for store. And again, the logo for store. So you can see here, the main applicant, he has filed that particular logo and later on, it is just filed it by the defenders. And later on, the government has done an objection for the High Court. And later on, it has to be just move it out from the market. You can see here, I'm just coming it out the website links as well. If you can see here, this is a logo which is existing, and later on the logo it become like this one. Yeah. Oxy, a common word for oxygen. Again, what happened in this case, we can say in the oxy is a word which is used for an oxygen. So the Manik Chandra, the Oxy Rich, it is a brand actually. They have sent an objection why it is just using this particular word actually. But later on, it has just to be identified. Oxygen is not having any nomenclature or a chemical formula that is a O2. It has to be used. Oxy, it is just creating a short keyword. So in this case, it is no objection will be encountering by the High Court, and later on it is to be refused and no objection has to be included by that particular applicant, because it doesn't mean that every time you are just filing or objecting for someone, the High Court will be just giving a consideration for it. No, it will always depending upon the facts and figures. If it is just because while the time of the auditors who are just working on it, they are just always be focusing if there is any inculcating issues has to be occurring, especially for our society, especially for healthcare, and they're just creating a misconception or main issues which is occurring, then they will consider. Otherwise, they just file has to be objected and remove it out from the at the court. You can see here there is a one medicine that we call as a medazole injection. We can use for concise for sedation, relaxed state for clamor, and medical test. So I can say at an ICU. And again, the medazole is a branded drug that we call a pentazole, need to treat for the stomach and urinary problem as acid reflux. So you can see here, this is called as a medzole and it is called as a medzole. So it depends. So I can say medzole, we call as a 5 ml infection of IP, and it is called as a for IV only. So it depends. It doesn't mean that because only for the name it will be incorporated. Because the person who is just giving that particular name, it is just giving that particular name along with this one. So it will that refuse it, no issue at all. Identical sub-brands, I can say yes. It very prominent, I can say. In the identical sub brands, if you can go here, you can see here the Castrol Active and the Lomex Active, we can say. The plain state found in this one. If you can see the Defender, which was existing about the 2010 defending for selling for 40 oils, we can say. And later on, it will has to be refused. You can see here, I think the maximum part of the packing, it will be a similar one actually. And it will be the same, but it will be a, I can say there's some changes which are existing, but rest of the things which are inclined in such a manner. And now we can say Fabric actually, this is existing and Hill, which is existing. So again, it is just find it as a defender actually. That defender bit means and the government has already rejected his petition that you should try to remove it out of the market. It was penalized actually, and they had just told them you should try to reconsider or remove that particular product from your market as well. Now, in fact, you can see here in the application of Castrol 260626, it was filed in the category 4 application, it was registered. 90, this one, again, it was upgrading its marks. So you can see here the marks it was designed for Castrol 4, this one. And later on, I think 10455541, that is a Castrol which is existing. They've taken it now again, and they have just again registered it. 838138, it is an active actually, and they have just taken it now for its execution, which is important. Okay. So can we take us, I think as per the schedule, it's some break, I think so. So can we take a 10 minutes break?
Yes, sir.
And later on yeah. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, it's over to you, ma'am. So we can, ma'am, hello.
हाँ सर 10 minutes ब्रेक रहेगा उसके बाद
10-minute breaks. Okay. So we will take a 10 minutes break. I think we will can rejoin it for this particular session at 11:15. It's okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's resume our session with Dr. Kamal sir, who has been providing us with a valuable insight into copyright
Yeah.
and record
So
management with real world study.
so if you
Yes,
can see here, it is a registration we have discussed. Yeah. Now, many a times what is happened, we are just focusing for a copyright and we are just forming it is a right form of expression or not. Okay. It will be a right copyright or not, or we can say what happened. Many a times we are just focusing for a copyright and what happened in the literature work, either it will be aligned or not, musical, in cinematography, and there are a lot of things which are inclined on it. But I just want to say copyright, it is always be forming or we can inclining only for scripts, script-based information. So whenever you are just going for a scripting, like anything, either for any content, any book, it is inclined only for the content. Please go for a copyright. Because what has happened, the peoples, or we can say the researchers who are a little bit confused, either we should go for, we can go only for its, for the images, or either for this one, the musical notes, or we can say the rhythm. So whatever you are doing, it should be written in a hard copy. If something which is lying in a hard copy or a processing, we should prefer to go for a copyright. Same in this case, I'm just coming it out the creativity along with that particular the system as per the ethical concern we are applying and the copyright. So how the copyright act will be aligned for our protection is the main thing is we should always be focusing for the original work, which is very prominent. Second thing is whatever the work we are just doing it should be a certain characters actually. It should be very fixation. It doesn't mean whatever you are applying, it should be very rhythmic way. Fix in tangible medium. Fix in tangible medium means if I'm just applying something, if I'm just protecting something, we should try to target it. That should be tangible in nature. It should be physically existable in nature. Next is definition of work. I can say definition of work, it is always the focusing for either for literacy, diagrammatic, dramatic, musical, and artistic work, which is very important. Cinematograph, we can say the film, which is very important. Sound recording, which is very important. Literacy, I'm just saying because the people's a little bit confused how we can apply. Either you can also be applied for coding part as well. Whatever the code you are writing, it is called as a computer program. The tables, the compilation along with the computer database that you can apply. We can say the computer program. You can also be applied in the form of instruction, in the form of a readable node, in the form of how we can perform a certain instruction, which is very important. Next is yes, because if you can see here, many times we are applying for a software actually. For a software, like we are having a certain code which is existing, we are applying on it. Along with the software code, we are just applying for a computer database, which is very protectable act, I can say. Next is we are applying for the programs which are designed for literacy and the artists both. Because what has happened, wherever we are applying, what we are writing for literacy or architects, we should try to take it. It should be an original in expression, which is having a proper ideological. The books, the templates, the poems, the articles, the letters, the tables, the computer programs, all are coming in the literacy work. Dramatic, yes, we are using for different forms. You can see here acting, singing, drum, chromatographic, and singing. Musical work, which plays a very important role because what has happened, and many times we are just focusing for a musical work. We should try to be take care of it. Either it will be a graphical note which is existable or not. Either we can sing, either can sang, spoke, artistic work, which is very important. Either you are performing for painting, sculptural, drawing, plan, maps, charts. So these are the things which are trying to incorporate for it. You can see here, this is artistic work, which is aligned on chromatographic work, which is need to be inclined for. Related for the neighboring rights, if you can align here in the neighboring rights means what are the performing the rights actually, the sounds, which is very important for us for recording. Broadcasting the rights, which is very important. Whatever the broadcast that you are just doing for the Crorepati, any movie, any session which is going on, we need to be taken. Next is the author's rights, which is very economic. That should be a very economical one because while we are just applying for the economically, we should try to how it can be reproduced, rental, how we can regenerate it, how we can perform the publish as well, how we can compute the performances as well, very important. How we can perform the calculation as well, computational as well. Automatic rights, which is very important because in automatic right, we need to be focused on what the movements we need to be created. Registration, enforcement. We call as a moral rights, which is very important. While you're performing for a moral rights, we need to be take a right to paternity, claim for the authorship of work, a right of integrity to resist or claim or to damage in the respect of any distortion or we can say mutilation, modification, other acts. Okay. Now, if any law which is existing for a copyright protection, we need to be take care what is the original work, what is the work to be factor, what is a fixed tangible, which is important. You can see here, like it is a best example for the 3-8 movie. We are having a lot of things which are existing, but we should try to focus only for copyright because whatever the content which is written in this level, we are focusing only for the copyright. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Dil Mage More. It is an idea actually. It is a slogan actually. Okay. So not be copyrightable, because the reason is it is not be an actual work has to be designed. It is just manipulating for attack lines. It should be an original one, then you will be able to do it. Okay. Now you can see here the India wins freedom, I can say. It is just giving a proper information in which how the things at the time of a division, the sole author, Dr. Kabir, has not be a sole author, but it is a necessary authorized representative for representing this one. Well, while at this time, the person who is to be aligned it for filing for a copyright, the IPR has to be rejected because that particular documentary is not be completely developed by sole author. It was the involvement for a two or three author. So that it was to be rejected and it was not given a copyright for it. Okay. Now I'm just coming Amarnath Singhal and the Union Minister of India, and that is called as it is a mandatory defensive to return for the plane because it is given a certain rules and norms actually. If you it is a damage has to be done something because in a 2016 onwards it was just giving only for a 1 lakh for a defender, but that person has to be increased it for up to a 5 lakhs. And second thing is what are the damage has to be occurring for the due to the daily basis payment, and that particular company will pay for the 9% of interest for that particular damage. Delhi schools of economics, yeah, we can say it is another law. We can say law of, we can say how we can copyright will be fringes, and they are just giving a multiple types of, I can say, we can say awareness programs. They are just inclined on it. You can see here. Photocopy is a shop where is a lifeline of the students. You can't be afford to buy for a, I can say for the expensive books, but the people have started for doing a photocopy. You can see here. Again, it will be a fringes for that particular. It is unethical, I can say. Low price editions for a solutions or not. Yes, I'm just coming a very good example for a very renowned public, very renowned subject. I can say computer architecture. It is that is called as a third edition. That is called as the Morris Manning. It has been exported to the Africa and then US and United Kingdom and other European countries as well with a low price. Open access is plays a very prominent role. Now I'm just coming up one part that we call as a geographical indicators. I'm just giving a small part and then after I will just go for a 15 minutes. I'm just giving an indication how we can searching for a patenting and all these things. In a geographical locations, I can say it is just indicator for the geographical conditions which are existing. I can say either for an agriculture, natural or manufacturing products. If you can see here, there is some geographical indicators like if we are having a lot of basmati rice, Darjeeling tea, and a lot of things which are existing. But if you can see again, I'm saying whenever whatever the information which are existing it now, it is completely based on as per the location-wise climatic condition situations. These plays a very important role. GI especially is focusing for the country level or the state wise the information which are existing. Or I can say every location it is having a prominent information which are existing at a certain location. Like in the agriculture, it is having for Darjeeling tea, basmati rice, and alfaso mango. It is particularly a categorization of that particular thing as per the geographically conditions as well. Like in the handicraft which are existing, while we are focusing for the manufacturing product, food stuff, which is prominent. A geographical indicator, I can say if I'm just saying certain prints which are existing at a certain location, you can see here. I can say the geographical indicator, I can say Bhujia, it is going from the Bikaner. So Bikaner, it is having a prominent area for developing this particular product only because the flavoring agent which is existing, it is completely depend upon this particular location. Commercial aspects, I can say, the commercial, we can say the particular tea, the Darjeeling, and this is aligned for a one particular location wise, I can. So geographically, it is having a certain location, like we can say the Taj Mahal, it is a one location, the place which is existing. The tiles, I can say the marbles which are existing for a certain location, which is very prominent. You can see marble positions in Makaranda district. Description of the goods, which is very important. Hardness, texture, porosity, solubility. So why we are just focusing for geographical area? Because it is always be depending upon the area of location which are existing. Because in every area location, it is just very prominating which type of the product is developing, which type of the marbles we are using, how we can use it, how we can process it, on which things it has to be dependent. A lot of criteria, a lot of geographical conditions which are existing. Okay, so you can see here the multiple examples. I'm just coming it out for the clothing or different shawls that we are doing. Kota Dora, these are existing. The saris, the suits which are existing, the variety which are aligned for it. Like it is a brand actually. Why it is going in a quota? Because in the quota it is having a certain location for developing this particular product. Quota Doria Loga, it is a one brand which is existing for a one particular society. You can see here, if I'm just going for this one, you will get a knowledge actually. It is having in every places, it is having a handicrafting for doing for a particular object. It is having a unique thing which is existing. You can see here the pen building which is existing, the panning which is dyeing which is existing. We can say vaporing is existing and sizing is there. Online Kota Kachori, it is again a big brand actually, because the reason is why, because certain location it is having a huge variety for purchasing this particular object because of its geographical conditions or way of they are working on it. Like in the marbles, I can say here, we can say the glass capitals here. Okay, and the good which are used for Firozabad clusters, which is very important, I can say. So in this level, that you will be able to identify that which level of categorization. Hello.
We are having a doubt, sir.
Okay, so on the basis of the uniqueness, on the basis of clustering, that you will be able to identify how
Sir, we have
geniusly the expert, the information, the knowledge which are existing now. Now, if you can see here that we are having on it certain level of we can say the forming of a product, which is very important. So if you
Hello,
can
sir.
see here the object,
Sir,
sir,
we are
you are
having
saying
a doubt.
something?
Yeah, sir, we are having a doubt, sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Hello there. How do any customer will confirm that his product comes from that specific geographical indication area? Means, so for example,
Perfect,
Alpha
perfect. Yes.
customer now buying some mangoes and he should know this is exactly from that area.
Agree. Sir, I will tell you, because what happened, suppose you are the one customer, you are the one applicant who is filing a one patent. Okay. Filing for a geographical basis. Okay, GI basis. Suppose you have suppose I am just giving a one example. You have just developed a one product, and on the basis of geographical conditions, you have just quoted a one patenting to the patent office. Is it okay? So while you are filing that particular patent in a particular on the basis of GIS base, that particular location base, at this stage, the IPR session will check it out all the details which are existing, either the location, either the conditions, either the situations, or either it will check it out whatever the patent is type this has to be filed on the basis of GIS location. It is really where you having an actual nobility or not. If it is existing, then they should try to process it for a examination. So at the time of an examination, that particular applicant will be come at that particular court actually.
Sir, my question is customer point of view. How customer will confirm?
How the customer will confirm? Okay. Sir, customer will confirm on the basis of its the product, because suppose if one product which is existing, one product is existing in a market and it is from Maharashtra and I'm in Delhi and I'm just getting this particular product. Okay. If that particular product is from IPR Section Act, that in this case, in your packing, it is mentioned for a one ID, it is mentioned for a one number which is authorized and authentic by an GIS. GIS is having a one unique ID number, which that will be printed in any object. You can just copy that particular paste on GIS location. You will get a proper information, sir. Sir, is it okay?
Will it be always in package?
Yes, sir. It will be available in package. Yes, sir. Sir, basically, while at writing that particular details, okay, there is a two ways of writing the details. Either you should write it all the information for a GIS, it is available for complete thing in our website. Okay, suppose that your company website www this and this, so all the information will be available. If you don't have any website, or in fact you are working very small level, so in this case you should write a proper details. Your GIS number is this, it is approved by this date, and this you should write all the relevant information on your packing, or either you will put all the details in a manual which are existing in your product.
Thank you, sir.
Is it okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You will see here, I'm just coming it out the different level of prospectus for how the you can identifying for different level of objects at a different locations. Okay, so we are applying for a GIS Indian context. I can say it is always be depending on the association of the peoples, persons, producers, and organizers, and authorization basically. Because whatever the things that you are just trying to develop, it is always depending upon the law and authorization facts and figures. Registered for an artisan as a registered users which you are having on it. It is having a properly. If you are just doing a fake things, suppose I am just already product which is existing and I am just refringing that particular product. So it is a very punishable act. I can say it is a 6 months of jail, or it will be maximum 3 years of jail. It may be a highly penalized. The police will encounter the such because so you can see here, if you are just filing anything and someone is saying it is a refringe for that particular object, the police will do an investigation for this particular product operation without any warrant, because the government of India has given a proper authority for the legal concept. For the police, you should try to inquire whether the things are unethical or not. Okay. Registration of India. Registration is not a compulsory, but it is a Affordable Eatable Protection Act for the refringement. Okay, yes. It is existing basically basis on the geographical indications. What I am saying, again, I am saying, suppose whatever the product you are developing at the GI basis, your product must be locating in this particular area. Suppose I am just working on this particular product, your product must be filed from this location, and your product must be inclined from this particular location. It doesn't mean whatever the things which are existing in Maharashtra, I will take it in Delhi and just started to filing from Delhi location. No, it is again a crime actually. Whatever the product which is location in that particular location, you should be take that particular location that we call as a geographical location. Mapping, which is very important. Please understand, while you are filing for that particular GI application, your map, your current location should be there. Particulars of the producers, affidavit should be there, your location, everything. Benchmark, elaborate the uniqueness. How quality and integrity of the product should be maintained. Inspection, structure, and the fees of that particular product. Proof of origin, because yes, whatever the proof, you should do it on the basis of, proof should be given it on the basis of gazette officer. Please understand. Suppose you are just saying you are the origin of that particular product, you are having on it the PI production. You should having a proof from the gazette officer and authenticate text. Additional representation, which is very important. The name, the address, the agent which is existing, the period of use which need to be required. You can see here. I can say India is a part of this one. So it is, we are having a proper geographical location for this particular across the globe. So we are just representing, like in India, the basmati rice, or we can say the certain location which is having a huge production, it is representing in this manner. So you should having a proper clear picture and representation, and it should be a tangible actually. Don't go for an intangible, because geographical terms and condition, it is always be aligned for latitude, longitude, and altitude, and the polar angle, which is very important. Okay, like I can say potential for GIE from the Rajasthan, you can see here a lot of things which are aligned from the Rajasthan. It is a uniqueness which are existing. Rajasthani marbles, I can say. Tirupura, this is the laddu, which is very famous, especially for Tirupura only. Tirupati, sorry. And the issued by the prominent operant against this one, the laddu. No mention. In this case, I can say the laddu is a reputation, not be in taste actually. Issued by, because there is a operant has to be filed against for the Tirupati laddu, actually against for the how it we can say it is offense and this one. So later on, the government of Supreme Court has rejected that particular petition, and they just said this is called as a religious, and whatever the things which is coming inside for this particular laddu and so on, it is a uniqueness which is not coming in the taste from the other states. So it is coming for a geographical location, GIA approval has to be given this particularly Tirupati. No industrial goods has to be served. Please understand, while offering, no industrial purpose has to be served for the grant of goods to a temple offering. Quite hard for the devotees to release for offering the equivalent manufacturing goods and significant commodity. Yes, they said directly, we are not providing any industrial support for manufacturing this type of laddus. Actually, we are providing it for the devotion for the devotees who are just coming in, and they're just developing it for only for our society. So these are the justification which is given it by the Tirupura temple, and finally it was given by GI approval. Rasgulla, it is really famous for the West Bengal and the Odisha. You can see here, it is a different variety, and it is only be existing the taste especially for this particular location. Basis, if you can see here, they are just giving a proper justification. If you can see here, the basic differences between the Bangla Rasgulla and the Odisha Rasgulla. They are giving a proper justification, that is a white in color, spongy, soft, sweet in taste, and not in sort of this. So basically, Rasgulla was first made this, and which was held popular in India. And the Rasgulla was used as an offering as a temple of the Lord Jagannath. So all are having its own beliefs, regions, and customs in which how they can representing your concept and the front of GI. So you can see here, there are a lot of applications which are existing for geographical indicators. You can see here. I'm just coming with a lot of examples. You can see you will get an idea actually. Another, I'm just coming, we can say Nasta Ka Kachori, actually, which is really very famous actually. You can see here, a beaver mithai. I'm just giving an idea actually. Rose cultivate and the Gulland is famous for JNK. It is very famous for the red rose. It is because in the JNK it is having a 32 varieties which are existing for a rose actually. It is only for the geographical area. Yeah. Bani Bhai painting, it is really very famous, I can say. It is completely based on, because why it is faming this particular picture, because the reason is different type of color, the custom, the cheese things which has to be lined. It is very unique on the basis of its deep rocks of hairs and locks. And the multiple thing, it has to be done only on the basis of that particular type of rocks. Son halwa, it is a really very traditional. It is again for a geographical area, we can't say. You can government sale channels, we can say. If you can see here, there are different government sale channels which are existing on the basis. If you can see in the JNK, if you can say for the Himachal Pradesh, the government has opened the different government authorized juice centers that you can purchase for the different juice, pickles, and different things which are existing as per the location of GIs. This is GIs actually, and now I'm just coming it out for the main thing, which is especially for how we can do for a searching for a patent, how we can do the searching of a database, especially for trademarks and all the things, and what are the different platforms are there. I'm just giving a practical hands-on to all these platforms. Okay. I'm just coming it out 5 to 10 links actually, if you can see here. First is a copyright form that we have done it, and now I'm just coming with the trademark filing link. You will get an idea how we can do the filing for it. Okay, so actually, this is a link which is existing for filing for an applicant for a trademark. Okay, but in the case of trademark, we are having a three things, which is first is called the proprietor, second is agent, and third is attorney. Okay, because if you are
Your slide is
hello,
not clear.
just a minute. I think is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just coming it out. There is a next platform that we call as a trademark and design. So if you can see here, you should first register it for new users, but the difficulty is it is not only for normal users. We have three opportunities that like proprietor, agent, and attorney. You should enroll it for the proprietor, and you should just enroll it, enter your code actually after just doing a registration, then you should be able to process it. But I will show you what is a proper process for doing a registration for a trademark. Just a minute. I'm just completely download that particular form for all of you. This one. I think is it visible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes. So you can see here, this is a complete form of a trademark of approximately 2 pages. I will tell you how we can do it. And later on, I will share with you. It is completely for an online. It's a request to all of you while you going for a trademark. Please try to fill it all the things, or you should categorize all the content as per your requirement in a one particular document. And then after you can log in it for a trademark login. Because the reason is that if you can continuously log in it now and you will not be able to fill it form, after a 30 minutes or 45 minutes, your session will be expired. So please take care while it is coming in is Act of 199. Application for the registration of the trademark. You can see here the name of the applicant. Applicant, it may be anyone either, because I just already told you in 2016, it was just converted small, because in 2000, before the 2016, it was divided into two categories for a small entity and large entities. The small entities are coming, we are the individual persons, okay? But in the large entities going for organization, but in 2016 onwards, the petition has to be filed by the government of India. They said same amount you need to be paid and all are coming in the same entity. So you can take it as any identity as you want. Okay. Later on, please take care. Whatever the name that you will provide it, the same name will come in your certificate. So please, on what priority that you want to be filed, you should write in this manner. But I just want to say, because because there's a lot of confusions which is coming it out. In fact, in our campus, in the CRIS also, because I'm also managing for my IPR session in my CRIS as well, Delhi NCR. The difficulty is because while we are just going for NBO NAC, we are always be facing that. The question is always be asking by the committee that while you are not giving the first name for your organization. Okay, so it's yes, it's a perfect, because the college is giving a funding to you. So while any college is giving a funding to you, or I'm not saying one particular any institution, any MNC, take it as a first applicant of that particular institution. Okay, same in the case of patent or same in the case of copyright. It's a request because the name will come. Suppose college is giving a fund to you for filing a patent, trademark, and copyright, and you are not giving that particular name. Sorry, this particular copyright, trademark, it will not be encountering it as the asset for your organization. If you want to giving a contribution to your organization, please give the name as an applicant of that particular organization, then it will be considered. Otherwise that particular IPR will not consider in the count of your organization. Please take care. So it is the name of an applications that we call as the filing details, which are existing, the addresses, the mobile number, it is very nominal actually, but please take care while you are just filing for an applicant, because the maximum persons who has done a wrong mistake, this one. So you are always coming in the category of individual. Please always file in the category of individual until and unless you are not working with the collaboration with certain project with any firm. Applicant, agent, that who is filing for you, or otherwise you are taking help, giving a trademark details that you should be mentioned here. And if you are word mark means you are just giving for a letter, either for a device mark, you are having a monogram and something logo we are having. Color, please understand. Many times the persons who are just thinking while filing for a trademark is, sir, color is only for black and white. So there is a need for differentiating. No, please understand. Black is also a one color. White is also another one color. So while you are just entering any type of color, please indicate for it. Please. Three-dimensional trademarks. Any doubt?
Will cost will be same for applicant, individual applicant, and for organization as the applicant?
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Mentioned that the applicant must be the first applicant must be the organization name, then and then only it will be considered for the ranking purpose.
No, it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. Ma'am, I'm just saying, suppose you are filing a one patent from your organization.
Yes.
And suppose you want to give a major work has to be done by one particular person. Suppose the major work has to be done by me. So I'm just giving my first name as a Kamal Upreti, and second name I'm just giving my organization name. So it will also be considered in the account of as an applicant of the institutional.
In that
I
case,
just want to any place you can enter. Please understand.
my question is in
And
that
second thing,
costing.
it is not mandatory that you should take your institution as the first name.
She is asking about the costings in both the cases.
Application fees. Does the fees vary based on type of application?
Sir, initially I just already told you there is a one act was passed in 2017. Before the 2016, before it was a division of two identities, small identity and large identity. In 2016 before, in small entity means we are the individual, and organizational which is always coming in the large identity. There was a difference between the fees. If suppose you are paying a 1000 rupees fees at the time of filing for a trademark, so as per you are filing a trademark at the institution level, you need to be pay a 5000 rupees. But after the 2016, the government has reduced the fees and making a fees for both small entity and large entity to making as a same identity, and the fees inclination receipt rate becoming the same as well. Is it okay?
For patent also, if applicant is the organization.
Yes, it's same in patent also. Same in patent also. Now.
Suppose we are filing the copyright, it costs 500 rupees as you told. And if the applicant
Yes.
then it is same.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible now.
बोला शांत बोला तो जायला आवाज slowly बोला.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes.
As you told, the cost for filing the copyright is 500. And if
Yes.
Organization is the applicant,
Yes.
name of the applicant, then same cost 500 or the cost will be increased.
Ma'am, 500 only. 500 only.
For patent.
For patent?
Yes, ma'am.
For patent, sir?
Yes. In case of patent, it will be same. Please listen. If you are filing for a design patent, either for institutional, either for individual or either for institutional level, the costing will be same. While filing a patent at a design patent, your costing will be of 1000 rupees. Is it clear? If you are going for a utility patent, your publication fees will be aligned for a 2000 rupees. Examination fees for a 1200. Female applicant fees is of 1500. Fees hearing code that is of 1600, and rest of we can say miscellaneous that will be charged by the government of charges for 100 plus 200 300. The total, if you can go as per the government bodies, as per the whatever the fees receipt you are just getting for the government level, you will get it the proper receipt for 6200 in case of Indian utility patent. And the fees will be same. Either you can file it from organization level, or either you can file it from the single identity or as per your name as well. There is no difference after the 2016 ruling act.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So this is a case of a trademark that we have done on it. Okay. You can see here the goods and services here that you are just posing on it, the date, which is very important. Please, this is very important. I just want to be say, while you are just filing for any patent, any trademark, any copyright, please don't take it as a digital signature. Because what happened many times, what the inventors are doing, they are just doing it. They are just do a signature on one particular paper, scan it, crop it, and upload it. It's a request to you. Kindly pay off 50 rupees for digital signature directly to the IPR. They will create their own original digital signature and prefer to use it. Because what happened, whatever the digital signature that you will do it, IPR will not cross-check you. IPR will directly connect your digital signature on the basis of your Aadhaar card. Please understand. So what will happen? Whatever the signature that you have done, it was not matched so many times. What happened? So what will happen? Your application that you have filed, it was delayed so much. So it's a request to all of you while you are filing for an application. Okay. So it is all. Now I'm just coming from our database actually, how you can finding it out, especially for open access platforms, because it is having a lot of databases which are existing either for paid and open access. But I'm just coming it out the 5 open access platform on which you can access it out any IPR activities for your knowledge. Because whenever you are filing for a patent, because the many of the inventors are feeling very difficult, what is the name of your patent? What is the nobility we can bring in our title? Because what has happened, whatever is the patent that you are filing it now, the IPR section is always we first check it out the report. Whatever the patent which is already files in our database, it is already be existing or not. If it is existing, then they just finding it out the compliances. These are the issues which are coming it out. If it is not, they just giving a nobility of it. So I'm just coming it out, which is very common. I think you are just already using in our day-to-day life. I can say Indian Patent Office. Yeah. If you can see here, there is a proper information which are existing at now. And no need for filling all the informations. Please understand. You should enter it anything like any date, any title. You should enter it and the date and this one. You should write only for 3 things and enter it only for and just enter the caption that you will get an information. It is very common actually. Now I'm just coming it out the main part, which is very important and very fruitful. Why I'm just filing for a patent that we call as a patents google.com. I think many of the persons who are using this particular, suppose I'm just trying to identify how many patents I just filed it till now. So you will get all the informations of my patents. Now I'm just trying it now. Which type of information? I just say what is the newest patent that I filed it. I'm just trying to classification of my categories. Reduplications are publications which are existing. It is application for the family or we can say public. Please understand. Family and publication means publication means in the first time I just filed that particular patent. Family means you have filed a patent and later on some person has taken my idea and refiled it that particular idea that we call as a family. Okay. And you can see here how many the patent that I just filed it is having all the information. Okay. Now I'm just coming it out. The very important thing, which is very important for working on this particular patent is you just click on it. While clicking on it, you are having a proper information. Like suppose we are just finding it out. I'm just giving a one keyword. Suppose my keyword is machine learning. Okay. I'm just identifying how many patents are filed. What about the details which are existing for an IPR? Okay. I need a full title. Okay. Okay. So machine learning techniques. You can see here, I'm just giving a query. I'm just giving a very good example. If you can see, I think so many of the persons who are just working on one tool that we call a OS viewer. There is a OS viewer is a tool actually, or especially used for bibliometric analysis. Or I'm just saying a very good example. If you can see, we are searching our details www.scoper.com. So we are just entering our details, the papers. The string is automatically updating and refining the details. Same in this case. Initially, I just entering the detail of an inventor, Kamal Upreti. I'm just entering the technique that we call as a machine learning technique. And the subtitle I'm just giving for the machine learning. So whatever the relevant information which are existing, you can see here. You can see here, whatever the patents I just filed on it, it is having a proper detail. You can see here. So on the basis of that, you will easily able to identify which is very prominent or not. You can find it out the status. I can say how many of the patents which are filed in on the India label or in the abroad as well. You can see here. I just clicking on India. What's the language which you are writing? It is in English. IN. Okay. So in this case, if suppose I'm just opening that particular information, just click on it. Okay. So in this manner, suppose this is a one patent that we have just filed on it. That is called as a method of empirical risk assessment from the brain disorder using neural network diagnosis. And the good thing is, let's see what is the findings, what is the similarity which is existing. Now you can just download the PDFs as well, which is very free and open access, which is existing now. Okay, what are the innovation which are existing? What are the applications which are, what are the applicants which are existing? You can get a title and abstract, all the documents which are existing. You can try to access it. Okay. Next thing is, if you want to get a proper information of this one, you can see here what are the descriptions which are existing, what are the background. You can see what are the claims which are superimposing on it. You can see here summary which are existing. You can get it. You can take up on some foreign patents. I can say the US patent. We can just planning to go for the US patent. Suppose. US patents. You can see here like this one, system, device, method, and graphical. This is the vibe. You can see. I'm just taking a randomly one patent, like the device graphically, the patent interface and three-dimensional environment. Okay. So you can see here in the 2020, it was filed in US patent. It was filed in European patent. Then it is cited for this one, this one. You can see here, lot of countries have cited this particular patent. You can see here. Now we can see, you can see here, the patent citation is 45, cited by 64 documents. You can click on it. You will get a proper information. This is a beauty of especially for the patent agents. Actually, you can see here. We can see here what the documents it has to be cited. What are the publications we have just taken on it? Okay. And second thing is, what are the similar document? It is showing after submitting this particular document, what are the similar type of modules which are existing? You can see here. And later on, what are the later priority basis patent which has already filed? You can see here. Methods. You can click on which type of methods they have applied. You can easily get a proper information in a short. Because you can see here, in this case, in this particular approach, it is applying for biotechnical, material, analytical, domestic, laboratory unit, and so on. Okay. This has to be applied. You can search and click on it. You will get information on it. Okay. And later on, after getting this particular information, you can add on queries. Now, you can see here, I've added a query. Now you can see here, there are, you can see the statistics actually. How, because we are the patent agents, how we can identify that this particular patent is very prominent for us or important for us. You can see the rating actually. You can see the rating actually. This patent is very pure storage, that is of 97.6. If your pure storage, which is coming then more than 90%, we will prefer to use for using this particular concept. Otherwise, not. You can see here. These are the relevant documents which are existing. So you should take it as a document, or in fact, you can just try to download it for this one. Okay. And after downloading it now, that you will get a proper information for it. For the United States, you can see here the proper information which are need to be inclined. You can see here. Okay. You can see here the proper information which is need to be inclined here. And you will be able to access this particular document. Okay. So this is called as a Indian design patent. I'm just coming it out the next open platform, which is existing now. I'm just opening now. The third link we call as a WIPO. It is very important. World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. You can see here. It's a very important world intellectual property right, we can say. This patent is basically, we should be done it while we are just filing for international level. Because many of the people, it doesn't know actually, they are just directly filing for an Australian patent. It is an unethical actually. Please understand, while you are just going for an international patent filing, please understand. Because the 90, because what has happened in the 99% of the peoples who are just doing it, I can say, uh, for filing this particular patent, or I can say, what I'm saying, because the 99% of the persons who are just filing for a particular patent, they are what they are just doing it now. They are just dialing filing for Australian patent, African patent, or German patent. It is an unethical. Sorry to say. While filing for an international patent, it is having a two approach. Please understand. First, you should file that particular patent concept in Indian design, in Indian utility patent. First, you should publish that particular patent in a publication. Okay. After publication, you should send a mail to the editor that I have published my idea publicly in this your publication. Kindly give me a approval for it for filing for an international. This is a one approach. Second thing is you need to be take a PCT clearance. You can see here, published international publication. You should put the application for a PCT. You directly return, sir, this is my idea to the editor. I'm just moving for a PCT clearance. While I'm just asking why, now question is raises why we are taking for a PCT clearance. The reason is that the government of India is not saying that you don't file any international patent. They're always motivating it. But the constraint is before filing any patent from one country to another country, they just checking it out. Whatever the data you are just taking, it not be correlated the security, the privacy, or defense perspectives. It is anything which is aligned on your patent or not. If it is not, they can give a directly PCT clearance within a 24 to 48 hours by the PCT office. Okay, so I should prefer it that everyone should have PCT clearance before going to access for WIPO. You just click on it, you will be able to access. WIPO is very superb, I can say. Please, everyone should prefer to go for the WIPO searching. It is a very prominent, I can say, and it is a very fruitful for everyone. You can go for the settings actually. You will get a lot of informations. In the office queries, you can raise it for a PCT. The results which are existing as per the country level, because the WIPO is used for one intellectual property right, and you can take it for the different country level for an informations. Results, then you can try to download for the lot of informations. Interfaces which are existing, I can say. Our browser, which is having a multiple level, we can try to access it. Okay. Now I'm just coming it out. The next tool, we can say space.com. We are just going for space.com. 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 It is really a very open platform. You can see here. In space.com, we can say we are having a classification status. You can see here. You can see here. In this case, if I'm saying I'm just taking for a suppose I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm just clicking on it, the category. Okay. So I just clicked on it. So you can see here, while at the time of searching, I'm just entering for mechanics. Suppose thermodynamics, we can take. It will identify what type of the patents it has to be filed now. It is having a, how many categories are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it is targeting the main type of category, which is there. Suppose I'm just taking for detail related to CAD techniques. I just click on it. It is having the categories which are existing. You can see here the multiple. I'm just clicking on it. This is the two category for computing, calculating, and counting, and electronic digital data processing. I think those persons who are from mechanical ground, they will be able to understand more. I think so. I'm just click on it. You're getting a proper information. Which type of patent is to be filed now? You just click on it. It is going inside to inside here. the information which is coming it out, and you should try to download that particular information. You can see here the person who has filed that particular patent, looking for the competency, indicators, apprehending, you just click on it. Now you will be able to download this particular information. Okay, this is a way. Later on, you are having a multiple things, the instructions which is having, you just arranging, taking the things in a manner, instrumental, arranging. You can just try to go for a different month. Suppose I'm just finding a information in 2015 February. It will just identify and searching on it. It will give on the year-wise data which is need to be required. Now, coursing, this is a very important issue. It just give a rating for it actually. Because on the basis of rating, you will be able to identify that this patent and data which is having a very prominent as comparison to getting for information. Now later on, because every patent is going for indexing in the basis of main, because suppose if it is having an agriculture, the person is not having any knowledge on it. Just click on the agriculture that you are having a lot of informations on the basis of data you are having. It's just like a glossary. It is just like a dictionary. It will be showing like this manner. So you can just click on alkaline metals. You are getting for this one coverage. Because what has happened in the foreign international patent, what has happened? It is having a category to subcategory, subcategory to subcategory. This, if you can see here, this is a nomenclature. A means agriculture. 0 mean it is a parent category. N means subcategory. It is having a 24 number. /0 means after subcategory, it is having a serial number that we call as a 00. This is a way you are having a proper documentation and you just try to cover it. So it is a very prominent, I can say, and many other persons who are just, because I'm very comfortable for using this particular. You can see here, it is having a one search engine type. Suppose we are having using some terminologies you are having for navigation results, you are need to be identified. Then you will be able to identify. That is like browsing, searching the nodes, smart, because sometimes you need to be identify some keywords actually. So on the basis of you should go for smart keywords. You should go for agriculture actually. So it just like it plays just like a Google, and especially for patenting for the information that you will be able to getting the information. I'm just coming it out the next one that we call as a free patent online links. It is especially inclined at the country India level, our country level. You can see here like this one. If you can see here, it has to be categorized at a certain levels at a country level. If you can see here the decent US patent application design, suppose I'm just clicking on this one, miscellaneous telecommunication. It has to be do a bonding of this one, optical imaging. You can see here, you will get information. The good thing is, if you are just working for any US patent classifications, you are having a different things which are existing. Suppose if a person is aligned for a chair, what are the different verticals which are existing? You can see here. And the good thing is it is just doing a categorization as well. What is the popularity of this patent? On the basis of rating, you will be able to identify. You can see here. Yeah, the 99 categories which are existing right now for filing this particular patent. Okay. Same in this case. I'm just coming with the, because I'm just clicked on a communication branch actually. You can see here, it is having a different label like adaptive approach. If you can just click on it, on the basis of adopted, there are a lot of documents, because I can say in this particular platform, for an online free platform, it has done a documentation on the basis of keywords that you can see here. That is the match interpolation, title, all the information which are existing. So our India level, this website is so much popular for at every user level or individual level, they can just try to easily fetch out the information as per your need. You just click on it, you will getting a proper information. That what is the patent has to file, click to the export citation. Because these are the US patent, definitely it is having a right for going for a Scopus index. So many of the persons you are just using for indexing as well. Okay, so it is using for a information as well. Okay, so this way that we just file on it. Okay, so this is the way that you can see here. These are the document which are need to be inclined for it. Okay, you can see here. These are the informations which are clicking on it. You will getting a proper information. So in this manner, that you will be able to searching this particular patent, which is very important. And sometimes what is happen, you want to be search it for a design patent, Indian design patent. You can directly give it Indian design patent on pen. So you can directly search it out and you will get all the information relevant for it. You can say frame period, this is keywords. Keywords, whatever the keyword which is coming at a fan which is related for it, it is coming. And the good thing, it is always giving in the highest order. The scoring is 1000, it is coming in the top and the lower and so on. So it is coming from top to bottom. It is a good sign actually, because on the basis of higher priority, we will just try to cite it or getting a lot of information which is need to be required, which is very important. Okay, so you can see here how this particular documentation has to be cited on it. You can click on this particular document, which is very important. Okay, this is proper documentation here, you will be able to access it. Okay, this is a way that you will try to access. Because I just want to say that it is not mandatory that every time you should target for a patent agent for filing any particular type of document. Sorry to say, because in our campus, what we can do is we have created for an IPR session. We are just calling for our faculties that you should come with your idea in a word format. Whatever you are comfortable, you should come with your idea. Either in for audio recording, either if you are on paper, something else. Nothing else. You should come and interact with us. Because after interacting with them, we will be able to identify either you should go for a design patent, utility patent, trademark, copyright. Because many times the 90% of the people that doesn't know which type of category we should try to focus for this particular for an IPR session. It is a big issue actually. Okay. So I just want to say that always while we are just finding on it, first you should go with your ideas,
Kamalji,
interact with it, and
hello. Kamalji, sorry for interruption. Participant would like to raise some question.
sir, I'm just one dipping it with the 2 minutes, sir.
So they would like to ask some questions, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, what is the significance of scores, sir?
What is the significance of scores? Okay, yes. The good thing of a score in this particular platform is, suppose if someone who is just searching for your patents and searching of a patents, because many of the people what are just doing it now, searching the patent, citing of your score, or we give a reference for that particular patent. Okay, so on these parameters, it is just giving a score automatically by this particular website. Okay, so in this manner, the score will increases automatically in every week. This is called as an indication of that particular score of that particular patent.
Thank you.
Any query from your side?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. No.
So just give me a 2 minutes. I will just wind up it now. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
So
Sure.
yeah. So because my target agenda is what I'm saying is many of the scholars, many of the professors, or I can say many of the persons, or if I can say in every year there are so many PhDs are awarded. Okay, many of the PhDs are awarded in your institutions, and different of the professors who are working on it. Why we are not approaching our scholar that you should go for a copyright and patenting? Because what is happened, because I'm not saying the copyrighted is only for a one constraint, because what is happened, whatever, if you can see in our India approximately, the maximum of the PhDs are awarded actually. So what we can do is every PhD content work we can do a copyright, or either we can do for design patent or utility patent, whatever we can, you can do it as per your requirement. And suppose if your government is any institution, it is having a handed copyrights or something else, you can think it about if one it will be commercialized, you can think and imagine it will do a changing of your life, I can say. So it is a big concern, I can say. Or second thing is, whatever the novel ideas which are having for our PhD scholars, MTech scholars, we should try to motivate it now. So that will be happening. It will coming at the one particular platform. If you can see here, IIT Delhi or IITs or NITs, whatever the institutions are occurring at now, they did a mandate for everyone that it's mandatory that every PhD must be converted into its copyright or a certain in for IPR session. So that will become in the highlighted form. So you should try to encourage it for our scholars, and we should try to do it as much as possible. Then thank you. It's all from my side.
Sir, next question.
Yes.
Sir, if you have completed 60 and submit in the university. Before submission, he should go for the copyright, or after submission also we can go for?
Ma'am, first of all, I think your voice is a little bit very slow, but I'm just repeating your question. You are saying for after we should go for a copyright after the submission of a thesis or after before the submission of a thesis. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a question. Okay. Please understand, it doesn't matter either you can submit your thesis for a submission or before. It doesn't matter. Your content will not be bleached to anyone else. Please understand. It will not be any fringe for your content. Please. Copyright, I just want to say if your content is ready, please prefer to go for copyright as soon as possible. Because whatever the research work you have done it, you should go for IPR as soon as possible. Because you doesn't know. Suppose I'm just coming in your institution. I will come in your institution. Suppose your one professor has changed, some professor has shared some idea with me. And that idea is clicked in my mind. And I filed a copyright somewhere else. So if I'm just filing a copyright before you, you can't be able to do a contradiction with me. Dr. Kamal, you has filed my idea because you are having a because you are not having any idea actually. You are not having any representation because that's why I'm saying whenever your idea is able to representable, whenever your idea become tangible, it's a request, prefer to go for filing. Don't wait for your thesis submission. Don't wait for your research paper and don't wait. You can ask with your someone to file it.
Sir, is self-plagiarized content is allowed for copyright?
No, sir. No. Please, it's a request. It's a request to all of you. Please, whenever you are filing any content to any authorized or governing agencies, please check the plagiarism. Please check the plagiarism. Sir, I'm coming. Please, if your content is having a self-plagiarism, kindly remove it. It doesn't matter either for your self-plagiarism, either for your other plagiarism, either for your general plagiarism. It is always considered in the category of plagiarism. As per IPR Section Act, it said directly AI content must be zero and plagiarism must be less than 10%.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Participants? Thank you, sir. Madam, you can go. त्यांचा कॅमेरा मॅडम कॅमेरा झाला पाहिजे कॅमेरा झाला पाहिजे कॅमेरा झाला पाहिजे हो बोला नॉर्मल आवाज थोडं कॅप्शन थोडासा असं म्हणजे कॅमेरा पण पाहिजे
On the behalf of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, I, Dr. Sangeeta Medkar, extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to Dr. Kamal Upreddy for graces accepting our invitation at the last moment and delivering such an insightful session on copyright and trademark management in India with case studies. Sir, really it was an excellent sessions. You have shared your knowledge about the copyrights and trademarks management. So thank you very much, sir, Kamal sir, for your enlightened presentation. We look forward to have more such interaction in future as well. Thank you very much, sir.
And Kamalji, and we will be emailing you for 7th March session.
Yes, sir.
Today I will email you, sir.
Yes, sir. And first of all, especially thanks to Dr. Shivaji sir and other community members because in a very short donation, sir has had done a trust on me actually with the reference for Dr. Sachin. And but unfortunately, I was not be able to coming as physically due to some lack of time duration. But in future, if I am getting a good opportunities, definitely I will commit back and make these particular, because these type of sessions are becoming very fruitful while we are while just doing and interacting with the physically and just interacting, because the person, the scholars, the faculties who are sitting at the front, they are just sharing their ideas at the front of you. Sir, this is idea. You can tell me, I'm just planning for filing a patent. You just give me idea. So taking the practical problem statement for one or two faculties and try to incorporate it at the front of the audience, that will be a more productive and more side of grooming of a learning. But I hope in the future we should try to work together in a joint collaboration, or we can do much more better for our society as per institution level. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I leave now?
Yes, sir.